In the land of Oru, time moved to the rhythm of the talking drums and the whisper of the wind through baobab trees. The people lived close to the soil, their hearts bound to the rhythm of rain and harvest. Among them lived a man named Damalola, a skilled hunter known for his gentle smile and honest hands. He was neither rich nor of noble blood, yet his courage and wisdom had earned him respect among the elders. Damalola's closest friend since childhood was Ajanaku, tall and broad-shouldered, a man whose laugh could shake the palm fronds. They had grown together, hunting, wrestling, singing under the moon, and were said to be two yam vines growing from the same root. But where Damalola's heart was content with simplicity, Ajanaku's heart thirsted for power and praise. In the center of Oru stood a great iroko tree, beneath which sat the council of elders, led by Elder Olu, the oldest man in the village. It was under that tree that all disputes were settled, marriages blessed, and harvest festivals declared. The spirit of Oru, they said, dwelled in the roots of that tree. One year, when the rains were late and hunger threatened, the council declared that whoever could bring back the golden horn of the forest bull, a sacred creature guarded by ancestral spirits, would be honored as a hero and given the hand of Adana, the chief's only daughter. Adana was beauty and grace combined, a woman whose laughter could calm storms. Many men dreamed of her, but she was not easily swayed. Both Damalola and Ajanaku vowed to hunt the bull. Before dawn the next morning, they set into the forest together, brothers in purpose, each hiding his own dream. They entered the sacred forest, where the air shimmered with unseen eyes and the trees whispered warnings only the wise could hear. Every hunter knew the forest of Iwin, the dwelling place of spirits, where no one entered without paying respect. At the boundary, Damalola knelt and placed kola nuts on the soil. "Spirits of the forest, accept my offering," he whispered. "Guide my steps and blind the eyes of danger." Ajanaku scoffed. "You waste time on old stories," he muttered. "The spirits help only the strong." Damalola looked at him, calm as always. "Strength without respect is like a spear without a tip," he said. They pressed deeper. The air grew thick and green. Birds fell silent. Somewhere ahead, a deep bellow shook the leaves. The forest bull was near, a creature with horns that shone like sunlight on water, eyes red as embers. When they found it, the ground trembled beneath its hooves. It poured the earth, snorting steam. Ajanaku raised his spear, but Damalola stopped him. "No," he said softly. "If we strike it blindly, the forest will curse us. We must wait for the bull to bow, only then may we strike." But Ajanaku's ambition burned hotter than fear. He hurled his spear before the creature lowered its head. The weapon struck its shoulder, and the bull roared with pain. Lightning flashed without rain. The forest itself screamed. Vines twisted, trees groaned, and from the shadows came a voice like thunder. "Who dares wound the guardian of Oru?" A wind of spirits tore through the clearing. Ajanaku fell to his knees. Damalola dropped his spear, bowing low. "Forgive us," he cried. "We came seeking the horn to save our people." The forest quieted. The bull turned its blazing eyes on Damalola, then bent its head and touched him gently with one horn. In that touch came visions, rivers flowing again, fields green, and the face of Adana smiling. When the vision faded, the bull lay still, and at its side rested a single golden horn, glowing faintly. Ajanaku stared, trembling. Damalola knelt and picked up the horn with reverence. "We must take this home," he whispered. But in Ajanaku's heart, darkness stirred. Why should he hold the glory? The people would praise Damalola as hero, Adana would love him, and Ajanaku would remain the shadow beside him. As they neared the edge of the forest, Damalola walking ahead with the horn in his hands, Ajanaku's thoughts turned venomous. With quiet steps, he lifted his spear. One swift thrust, and betrayal found its mark. The spear pierced Damalola's back. He stumbled forward, the horn slipping from his hands, blood staining the earth. He turned, eyes wide with disbelief. "Ajanaku," he whispered, "brother, why?" Ajanaku's face was stone. "Because one root cannot feed two yams," he said, and pushed him down into the earth. He buried Damalola's body beneath the roots of a fallen tree and took the golden horn for himself. Ajanaku returned to Oru at dusk, the sky burning crimson like the guilt in his chest. The villagers ran to meet him, shouting his name, beating drums in celebration. He held the golden horn high for all to see, its glow flickering in the dying light. "The hero returns," they cried. "He has brought the blessing of the forest." Elder Olu stepped forward, leaning on his staff carved with sacred sigils. "Tell us, Ajanaku, where is your brother in the hunt, Damalola?" Ajanaku lowered his head, feigning sorrow. The forest took him, he said. The bull's spirit rose in rage and he fell protecting me. Before he died, he said the horn must reach Oru. A silence fell. Some wept, others praised Dame Alola's bravery, but Ajanaku's lie slid through the air like a serpent through grass. That night the chief declared a great feast. Palm wine flowed like rivers, drums spoke of glory, and Adana herself placed a garland of river lilies around Ajanaku's neck. "You have saved our people," she said softly. "May the ancestors bless your name." Ajanaku smiled, but inside his chest something shifted, a heavy, unseen weight. When he looked at Adana, he saw Dame Alola's eyes reflected in hers, full of trust he no longer deserved. The horn was placed on the altar beneath the Iroko tree. Elders prayed, drums thundered, and at dawn the first rains fell upon Oru. The villagers danced, believing the curse broken. But deep beneath the forest soil where Dame Alola's body lay, the roots began to stir. That night Ajanaku dreamed. He stood in a sea of mist, the golden horn glowing before him. From the fog came a voice, soft and sorrowful, Dame Alola's voice. "Brother, the forest remembers." Ajanaku awoke drenched in sweat. The horn glowed faintly in the darkness of his hut, whispering as if alive. He covered it with a cloth and tried to sleep, but each time he closed his eyes, he heard Dame Alola calling his name from beneath the earth. Days passed, the rains came too strong, flooding the fields, drowning crops. Cattle died, fever spread, and the river turned murky as blood. The villagers began to whisper that the spirits were angry. Elder Olu summoned Ajanaku. "The horn that should bless us brings only ruin," he said gravely. "Something in your story is unclean. Speak the truth, child of Oru, before the ancestors take their payment." Ajanaku's lips trembled, but he held to his lie. "I told you all I know," he said. That night the storm broke. Lightning struck the Iroko tree, splitting it in two. From the roots, voices rose, the forest itself crying in grief. Adana ran from her hut, calling Ajanaku's name, only to find him standing at the edge of the floodplain, staring at the rising waters. "The spirits are angry," she said, clutching his arm. "Something must be done." But Ajanaku did not answer. In the lightning's flash, he thought he saw a figure standing in the river, Dame Alola, drenched and silent, eyes glowing faintly. He stumbled backward, dropping to his knees. "Forgive me," he whispered, but the wind swallowed his voice. The next morning, the river had receded, leaving behind a trail of white lilies, the kind Adana had placed around Ajanaku's neck. She bent to pick one, and when she looked up, she saw Ajanaku walking into the forest alone. He would not return. Ajanaku walked deeper into the forest of Iwin, barefoot, his body trembling as though the earth itself rejected him. The trees loomed higher with every step, their branches whispering secrets of old sins. The air smelled of rain and rot, and the faint perfume of the lilies that had followed him from the riverbank. He reached the clearing where the forest bull had fallen. The soil there was still dark with blood, his brother's blood, though he could not bear to name it. The golden horn glimmered in his trembling hands. "I return what was taken," he said aloud, his voice shaking. "Let the curse end." He placed the horn upon the ground and knelt. For a long moment nothing stirred. Then the forest began to hum, low at first like a heartbeat in the roots, then louder until the sound filled his bones. From the mist before him a shape emerged, Dame Alola, not as flesh but as spirit, his body woven from moonlight and soil. "Brother," Dame Alola said softly, "the earth has felt your lie. You have taken a life blessed by the ancestors. What will you give in return?" Ajanaku bowed, tears cutting lines through the mud on his face. "Take me instead," he whispered. "Let the people live." But the spirit did not move. "The people's peace was never yours to bargain," Dame Alola said. "Only truth can balance what is broken." Ajanaku clutched at his head. "Then tell me how to end it," he cried. Dame Alola's spirit looked toward the river. "The horn must return to the water. Only there will its voice fall silent. Go, and the ancestors will decide the rest." The ghost faded. Ajanaku rose, clutching the horn, and ran. He stumbled through vines and thorns, his legs bleeding, until he reached the swollen river that bordered Oru. The sky above was bruised purple, lightning flashed without thunder. He waded in until the current dragged at his waist. Lifting the horn high, he shouted, "Spirits of Oru, forgive me, let the curse end." Then he hurled the horn into the river. For an instant all was still. Then the water exploded with light. A great column of energy rose from the depths, swirling with faces, ancestors, beasts, and the forest bull itself. The current seized Ajanaku and pulled him under. He fought, clawing at the surface, but unseen hands held him fast. On the riverbank, Adana had followed the trail of lilies. She saw the flash of light and the figure thrashing in the water. "Ajanaku!" she screamed, but it was too late. The river closed over him with a sound like a sigh. When dawn came, the storm was gone. The air smelled clean and the waters ran clear again. The crops lifted their heads from the mud. The villagers emerged from their huts awed. At the edge of the forest, Adana found the golden horn resting in the shallows, its glow gone. She carried it to Elder Olu, who placed it beneath the broken iroko tree. "Peace has returned," he said quietly, "but its price was heavy." That night the elders gathered the people. They told of two friends, one true, one false, and of how greed poisons the heart faster than venom. They built a small shrine by the river in Damalola's name, and there they poured libations for both men, because even betrayal, they said, teaches the living. In the seasons that followed, the land of Oru prospered. Children played beneath the new-grown iroko tree, and the river sang softly as it passed. But sometimes, when the moon was full, villagers said they heard two voices in the forest, one laughing like a brother, the other whispering an apology carried by the wind. And so the griots ended the tale with the old words. When the heart forgets gratitude, the ancestors remember. When a friend betrays a friend, the forest listens.